The mics are hot, and so's the gossip. Let's get into it in 3. Welcome to In3. I'm Danielle Graham.
And I'm Callie.
I missed you.
I know.
And I missed this.
We had our Darren episode last week, which was great, but we did miss this.
I really did.
I've come to rely on this to be like my light source, my energy source, my all the things.
And I have so much to say this week because it just feels like it got bottled up.
I know. We have so much to talk about.
Woo! It's going to be good. I really want to start with, have you seen Kim Kardashian's sad beige skinny Santa?
Skinny Santa?
What?
With the support garments is insanity. What in the monochrome world is this?
Honestly, is nothing sacred anymore. Santa is jolly. Santa is robust. Santa is not beige and skinny.
Well, in Kim K's world, everything must be nude and everything must be singed.
Well, this for me was blasphemy. The Santa that she shared has never eaten a cookie a day in his life.
No.
I have seen no less than 74,000 Santas this year of varying degrees of believability.
True.
This is hands down the worst Santa I've ever seen.
Yes.
Horrible.
So the Skims Santa stopped by the Skims flagship store in NYC.
Yeah.
As you said, wearing a flesh-colored Santa suit. And he says, I'm wearing this lovely outfit that Kim sent me, and underneath is the ultimate bodysuit in sienna. So Santa is SpawnCon. And he admits that, yes, Kim styled him and Kim forced him to wear support panties.
Yeah. And beige.
The comments were the best. One says, not the Ozempic Santa in neutrals. Someone else said, do you think he's sporting the Merkin too?
Oh.
And the final one, they got Santa on Ozempi too.
Ozempi.
So
Ozempi Santa.
there you go.
Sad beige Ozempi Santa. No, thank you. Not for me. No,
I kind of love
I want
it.
the holly jolly kind. In some not so holly jolly news,
Yes.
Amy Schumer has announced her split. So lots of rumors for a long time surrounding this marriage and whether, they were going to stay together. And it looks like it is not the case.
Right.
The announcement was a little bit weird.
Strange.
Yeah. It was just literally the quote is blah, blah, blah. Chris and I split. Blah, blah, blah. Not because I dropped some LBs.
Right.
What do you think about this?
I have a lot of feelings about this. Obviously, we've been talking about Amy for a few weeks now. We actually were in the DMs with her, chit-chatting a couple of weeks ago. She has been all over social media for the last few months, really showcasing her glow up from the inside out, right? She sort of debuted a new look, so to speak.
Knew everything.
She deleted all of the Instagram posts on her account before her big weight loss and started posting all of these sort of photo shoots in her home on her staircase, which is great. I'm so happy for her that she feels well inside out, right? Yeah. She got her endometriosis under control, and yes, she's on Mounjaro, but it's, she made it really clear that it wasn't about the weight loss. The weight loss was a symptom of feeling really well. And I get that. I get that on the next level. I also have endometriosis and PCOS and all of the things, and I have been there, and I'm happy for her. But it's impossible not to notice the shift in her sort of image that she's presenting. I think it's great to feel good about yourself. And again, I really support that. But the lengths in which I feel like she was going to show off her new look, to be wearing all these fancy outfits, this is very un-Amy of her.
Yeah.
So it's hard to not notice that. And then in conjunction with, or in succession with, now this split, kind of feels like doth protest too much, that it's not about this glow up. But it is possible that, she's in a moment where she's doing a lot of self-development, where she's bettering herself, where she's evolving as a person. And maybe her husband has been going in a different direction. And that's not uncommon.
It's not, especially after having a child. They have a son together. And, she was really at the height of her career.
Yeah.
and then had her son,
right?
But like 6 years ago, and really has kind of been quiet on the career front.
Yeah.
And now it feels like there's a hustle again. So maybe it's like Amy got her groove back a little bit, wants to refocus on herself, because oftentimes when we have children, we kind of like throw everything into that. And maybe she's like, you know what? Time for me. Take care of me physically. Take care of me career-wise. Take care of me in my emotional and romantic state too. And
prioritizing yourself.
And this isn't fitting anymore for me. And that's very possible.
Yeah, I think it is.
She wants to, get back to her.
I think the blah, blah, blah piece, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we split, blah, blah, blah. It's not about my weight loss. I guess I just don't believe that.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be about the weight loss, but it could be about this evolution and this coming back to yourself and prioritizing yourself, as you said.
Yeah.
So I went to her Instagram page this morning just to see what was if there was anything new. Now everything is gone. Every photo that she took on the staircase.
What?
The announcement of the separation, it's gone.
Like a wiping of the...
There's like 6 posts. None of them are on her staircase. The split announcement is gone. So
this is weird.
Yeah, like I feel as though we can't deny that something's going on. I think she's finding herself again. She was on the staircase doing these photo shoots. Then she announced the split. Now she's decided, okay, maybe that's not a representation of me, or maybe that's not how I want to present myself. I think she's in a shift of her identity. I think she's not exactly sure where she's going to land. And I think she's trying to figure it out.
Right. And if that's true, which I think you've really nailed it, then just go quiet.
I agree.
That's not the time to be releasing statements and blah, blah, blah. Because that is kind of her tone.
Sure.
But also is kind of dismissive and reductive and like not overly kind.
Agreed.
So if there is some, unsettledness and we're in a discovery phase, just be quiet.
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
I think say less, do less.
Yeah, you're right.
Take your time, go dark, go deep, talk to your therapist, talk to your friends. And we won't miss you on social media. I promise. I know that there's this, what's the spotlight syndrome, where you think that everyone's watching you and waiting for you and wondering where you are. They're not.
They're not.
Like, I have taken a break on social media basically since my grandmother's funeral a few weeks ago, just because I kind of got out of the thing. And in my head every morning, I'm like, gotta post today, gotta film today. People are going to, I'm going to have to explain myself. No, you're not. No, you're not. No one's watching. No one cares.
You're
They're happy to see you when you pop up, but honestly, no one's worrying about where you're at except your closest people.
Yep.
And I think in this case, Amy, no one's gonna miss you. Not to be shady, we love Amy Schumer. I just think
take a minute,
take your time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and figure out where you're at.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah,
you need an advice column on this show.
Okay,
we'll work on that. Did you also see that George Clooney has declared he's not doing love scenes anymore? He's not making out with anyone in films anymore. He's just not doing that. Is right. Lame, but also no one asked and no one noticed. I didn't notice you weren't doing that anymore. I'm not looking for a George Clooney love scene. I'm not looking for a George Clooney makeout. I'm not what that movie needed? George Clooney making out with somebody.
Right.
Nobody asked, nobody cares, nobody noticed.
Yeah.
So why are we talking about it?
Right. And also, I feel like most actors describe, romantic scenes and sex scenes and kissing scenes as mechanical, as awkward, as very sterile and, more like choreography versus romantic.
Yeah, there's nothing hot about them.
So if so, then why can't you do them anymore? As if this is some, declaration of solidarity with his wife or of commitment to her, of respect for her. This is your job. If it's so choreographed and awkward, then what's the problem?
Right.
What are you not saying? What has happened in the past that either you or she have been uncomfortable with that's brought you to this place? Because no one else seems to be having a problem.
Right. I didn't think about it that way.
It's kind of just a strange thing.
And he did say this came from a conversation with Amal.
Right.
See, I was thinking it was more because he brought into the fact his age. And maybe he's feeling like, I'm too old to be making out with people now. That's what I interpreted it to be.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue that some of my favorite rom-coms of like this generation have been with old men. And let me tell you what they are. The first one is Something's Gotta Give. Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton.
Oh, that is a really good
one. One of my absolute favorites of the last few decades. The other one, It's Complicated with Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep. Honestly, those are like go-tos that I keep revisiting. And those are romantic comedies with older men. I'm not saying I'm hot for the sex scenes, but I enjoyed them. And I think those roles couldn't have been played by a younger person.
Yeah.
And George could be doing those things. Why shouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? And it just feels weird and awkward that he's like declared that he's going to be so committed to his wife that he doesn't do sex scenes. I'm like, why?
Okay.
I feel like a few months ago, like in the summer when he was doing his Broadway debut, we talked about how there was like maybe trouble in paradise and there were rumors of something going on. And then since then, he's been so effusive about their relationship.
Big time.
Have you noticed that?
Yes. Remember, where was it? What film festival was it? Where it was like presenting my wife.
That. And then even in sound bites and interviews, it's like, over the top. I am so lucky to be married to this woman and my life changed and my life didn't begin and lucky me. And I mean, fair. She is like
all of those
phenomenal person. And I think, you know, there are moments where that's appropriate. It just feels like it's been a lot of that.
A lot of it.
And so the rumors coupled with the effusiveness, which we always agree sometimes can feel like there's some smoke, you know
how I feel about that,
like an ember of something simmering. And then now with this declaration of like, I'm not gonna kiss anyone on screen anymore, I'm like, what's going on over there, George?
So you're adding it up. We got three little components.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want them to have an issue, and I don't want to feel like he's like, you know, had something with a co-star and been disrespectful in some kind of way that she was like, hey, like maybe we don't do that anymore if we're trying to make things right. I don't know. This is pure speculation.
Right, of course.
But I'm just like, I'm kind of adding things up.
Yeah, you are. That's what you do. That's what we do here.
And remember, his bestie is Brad.
Yeah.
And Ben.
Yeah.
Those are two men who have fallen for their co-stars or cheated with co-stars. It's not impossible.
It's not. Not when you present it that way.
I don't know.
I didn't think of it that way at all, but I love your take as always.
Well,
yeah.
There you go.
We have got a really great show lined up for today.
Lots going on.
So the big three, Taylor, the documentary,
yes,
Travis, the relationship, everything going on in the world of do we have a name for them?
Oh,
I guess we don't. The Swift Kelces, the Kelce Swifts, the Kelties.
Yeah, we got to work on that.
Let
us know if our audience has any ideas, or if there is a word that we don't know.
Maybe there is.
How is there no moniker at this point?
I don't know. That feels wrong.
Yeah.
Next, we are going to get into the horrific murder of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Hollywood is reeling from this, and it is such a devastating story.
Deep breaths on that one. That's going to be tough.
It is.
Like, I feel like it's so awful to even look at the details and be discussing it. I think what I would love to do is discuss Rob Reiner's legacy and all that stuff. I mean, obviously we'll touch on some of the details of what's going on, but it is, I mean, what a week.
Oh my gosh,
it's been just an awful week in this
really
world.
has. Yeah. Adding some levity though will be 50 Cent, who's just so ready to be petty at all times.
Oh my God.
Of course, this is, in relation to the documentary on P. Diddy, The Reckoning.
Yeah.
We can touch on that, but really we're going to get into the P. Diddy.
How did we get here?
Pettiness. How did we get here? Yeah. And the gift of this man's spite is something.
Listen, a masterclass, a truly masterclass.
He is the trolliest troll
of all the trolls.
He invented trolling. And it isn't just Diddy. There's a long history of people that he has trolled.
Yes.
And I have loved looking into the people and the stories of his trolling, because it has been so fun.
It is really fun. I mean, obviously, the Diddy stuff is it's a terrible story. He's a terrible man. But yes, 50 has managed to bring some light and humor into the situation, and it's really fun to laugh at him.
It really
with
is.
him.
And he's enjoying it.
He is.
He really is.
Yes, he really is.
And
also profiting.
Big time.
Major.
And we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have to talk about
Jason Bateman.
Do we ever? We heard you.
Yeah.
We heard you.
We heard you loud and clear.
You want to talk about this
in the DMs.
So we're going to talk about this.
Yeah. We were posting about wondering whether we relate to the party in thinking whether Jason Bateman is hot. We're like, oh my God, is Jason Bateman hot?
I didn't know Jason Bateman
was... Are we thirsting for Jason Bateman?
Until this Esquire cover, I never saw him in any other way, but just friend zone-y guy.
I thought about it.
No.
And then now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking about it.
Just can't unsee it now.
Our audience has already been thinking about it. They were way ahead of us. And so we're gonna deep dive the Bateman.
We're gonna wrap up the show with that. So let's get into all of it.
Yeah.
So if you're like me, you started crying roughly 1 minute and 30 seconds into the end of an era.
Pretty much.
Cal, it was so special. I was like, I didn't want it to end. I actually paused a few times while I was watching just to see how much more I had, because I was just like, I just want to prepare myself for where this is going to wrap up. There's so much that we're learning about what went into the Eras tour. Obviously, we knew it was a big production and it was groundbreaking and monumental for all the reasons that it was. But the sheer magnitude of dreaming up something like this, and then the logistics of putting it together, and then the machine behind it all, she really is the definition of and then some.
Yeah.
And more is more.
Yeah.
And over the top and beyond all limits.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of artist and performer she is. And we always knew that, but this was such a beautiful illustration of her desire to just be everything. I'm going to leave it all out there. And it was just really beautiful to watch.
I agree. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I mean, I'm so curious about your feelings because you were at the Eras tour.
Yeah.
So I imagine it would be even more special watching this. I wasn't at the tour. So a lot of this is brand new for me.
Right.
So, watching this for the first time, even just that opening scene with those big, what are those? Those big...
it's almost like a butter... No,
almost like a peacock feather wings or whatever with those dancers. That really... The visuals of that really overtook me. And I was just I was flabbergasted by how gorgeous the visuals were and the dancers and everything. I feel I know that Darren, in our episode last week and in our interview with her, called Taylor overexposed. And I couldn't disagree more. I should have said that in the moment and I didn't, but I couldn't disagree more. I think Taylor's in the spotlight and she's larger than life because she's, the biggest musician of all time, one of the biggest celebrities of all time, and one of the, the highest grossing singers of our generation or of all time.
Yeah.
But she's not overexposed. We don't know a lot about her from her.
Yes.
We just don't. We've seen her on Colbert. We saw her on, a few of the late night shows, and we get little glimpses in these radio shows where she's very, very much focused on the work. But we don't really, other than the Miss Americana, we don't really get to see any of her behind the scenes.
You're right.
Or,
the process.
She's not someone who's on social media talking to the camera, sharing tidbits about her life. We really don't get to see that. So to see some of that, to see her behind the scenes learning the song on the guitar with Ed Sheeran, to see her, talking about how she struggled with choreography and trying to learn it with her team, to see the connections that she has with her cast and her crew and the people who contribute to the show, all of that I was really mesmerized by.
Same. To see where, when they were putting together the Florence and the Machine performance and just how her brain works and the imagery and the artistry and the focus and the music and the stage, to watch an artist work in real time like that is amazing. I agree. Also to see what I mean, there's so many things I was like, whoa, this is incredible. I assumed when she was done the show, she went back to a dressing room. No, she goes from the stage into a car to the hotel in her sparkles, in her sequins.
Yeah. Someone pulls her boots off. That was so cute.
I loved that moment because I thought, you know what? That's smart, because if you went back to a dressing room, then someone would find a way to talk to you, and that would delay you getting home.
Get out of there. This is what we need in our lives.
Cut and run.
A car waiting for us so we can just
get out.
Peace out.
Yeah, but then, her talking, like her in her room with her cat, taking her makeup off, talking about how it's hard to come down after being on such a high and kind of her after show process. You're right. We never see that stuff. No. We've never known about those things. And that also was like such a cool look into the person. Yeah. Not the artist, like the human. Exactly. And I love that.
And I think, say what you want about her, she's a really good person. And
there's no doubt
that I was really inspired by her generosity, not just obviously with the checks that she gave, which, have been highly publicized. Everyone's talking about, that she's giving maybe close to $1 million bonuses to her dancers and $100,000 bonuses to the truck drivers who drive her set across the country. Which is incredibly generous, but also her generosity of spirit. As she's walking out and sort of evicting the stadium, she's shouting to the crew saying, "We did it. Yes. Like, you're amazing. Like, that was the best show ever. And I love you guys," and hugging people. And I find her to be such a lovely, lovely human. And you can't fake that.
No.
This is who she is.
Yes.
She is the person that will stop and hug her crew member and say thank you and spend time with her dancers even when she doesn't have to, and handwrite letters. Like, I ran a team of 40 at Bolo, and every Christmas, I handwrote every single person a letter. And it was really important to me.
It's meaningful.
That gesture of taking the time to write it. And I, have a lot less on my plate than Taylor Swift, and certainly have a lot less people that could do those things for me. She could have anyone do anything for her.
Yes.
And she did it herself, and she sealed it with a wax. What do you call that?
The wax seal. Yeah.
Like,
even her mom was like, "You wax sealed all of these?"
She cares so much.
She does.
And I respect that.
I also thought you could really sort of distill who she is as a person into the fact that when she meets people, she says, "Hi, I'm Taylor."
Yeah.
Like, no shit.
Yeah, no, we know who you are.
We know, girl. Yeah. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
She is such a good person, and I defy anyone to watch this show, or I challenge anybody who thinks, nah, Taylor Swift, I don't like her. Watch this, and I guarantee you will change your opinion of who she is as a person. You don't have to like her music.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, as a human being, what she represents, when I win, we all win.
Yeah.
The kindness, the generosity, as you said, of spirit, but also, the importance she felt in making sure that the dancers represented the world that we see.
Yeah. And her audience.
Exactly. The reflection she wanted. I want people in the audience to see themselves on the stage.
Yeah.
She wasn't looking for, cookie cutter, everybody the same. She really wanted to highlight different people, different backgrounds, different body types, all of that.
Yeah.
And that's a precedent-setting move. The bonuses, hopefully a precedent-setting move. Hopefully
Absolutely.
The shift from greed, which I think can often happen with performers and people in the spotlight, to generosity and kindness. And I will say that tour, yes, I'm a Swiftie, but seeing that tour in person was such a moving experience. When you talk about the opening with the peacock feathers, I guess that's what we're calling it.
Yeah.
I was crying within seconds, and I didn't know why. I felt so moved.
Yes.
The whole time. I was like, this is so moving. Is it the beauty of my daughter and my friend being there and our wonderful people that we love so much?
Enjoying that together.
Is it that? Is it the fact that it's just so warm and everybody's so kind and it's the friendship bracelets? I actually think now, looking back on it, because it's been a year, it's that everything she put into it, all the kindness and the generosity and the intention, I could feel it all. I didn't know what it was.
Right.
I now know from watching the documentary, but I felt all of that without knowing it in the moment. And it really was such a beautiful, like, memorable experience that will stay with me forever. And even our friend Marie said that on the weekend.
Yeah.
She was like, not a Swiftie, but I felt all of it in that moment.
Right.
And I think it's because of what Taylor did behind the scenes that was just reverberated.
She also said at that lunch that, you know, if the world was made up of little era tour moments and people who, like, if the only people in the world that existed were the people that went to the Eras tour, there would be peace on earth.
It'd be perfect planet.
Peace on earth.
Yes.
Abundant in everything. Yeah. Happiness, joy, love, all of the most beautiful things, which I think, especially this week, we could use a lot more of this.
We sure could.
Right? And so mad respect for all that. I think it's really funny. I mean, so we saw a little bit of like Taylor and Travis behind the scenes on their phone calls. Her love language is talking about the comparisons of their careers. She is obsessed with talking
the parallels.
Yeah, with the parallels.
You're right.
She can't not talk about that. I even watched the Colbert interview from last week, and like she can't not talk about how she loves to connect her career to other people's careers. And I love that. And I think I get why, because I think, you know, in her industry, and she talked about this on Colbert, where there's a lot of people that are like, no one understands me. Like, no one could possibly put themselves in my shoes. And she's like, no, like, I want to find connection with everybody in my life, because we can all relate on some level. It might not be the same level, and it might not look exactly the same, but she loves creating those threads.
Yeah, she does. It's so fun.
And it's just like, it's a bit repetitive now. Like, if I never heard that again, I'd be good. I get it. Like the coach and the mom and the
team and the stadium, and the schedule and the mat,
the rehearsal and the practice and whatever.
No, I want more, but okay.
But it's very cute, and I see her just really grasping for those moments of connection.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really cute.
I loved the phone calls too. I think the one that really spoke to their relationship was, you know, she was feeling really nervous after the canceled shows. Yeah. Going into the first show since, you know, that happened, the show at Wembley, she was like, oh, you know, a lot of nerves. There was like a very serious threat.
Yeah, worried.
Very much so. Yeah. And really wanting to get back at it and remember how good it felt.
Yeah.
And then got in the car. She's in London, got in the car and called Travis. God knows what time it was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a, hey, are you up? It was just, he was expecting to hear from her, to expecting to hear how it went and check in with his person. Yeah. And she was obviously so happy.
On cloud nine. And he said, I can hear it in your voice, which is also, you know, something that a partner would say. You can hear that joy
for sure
in your person's voice. You know where their energy is at. And I agree. That was really, really sweet. I also, lastly, I loved in the Florence and the Machine rehearsal moment. She was like, I think she was, you know, she's a big, big star in her own right and has, you know, been on many a tour. Yeah. But even she was blown away by the production value. Yes. And she was also like, I think she described her and Taylor to be kind of similar because they're both really kind of low key, kind of chill
cozy
people.
Yeah.
And then when she got on stage, was like also blown away by, you know, the power of Taylor on stage, which is a different Taylor than I think her friends and family get. And I loved that little tidbit that she gave. I think she didn't even realize she was giving it.
Yeah. She came up from under the stage and was like, holy shit, I'm on stage with Taylor Swift.
Right.
Who's her friend?
Yeah.
But it's a different,
I think Taylor is different than Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
right.
You're right.
Like
that's the
Taylor that she gets in their cozies at home with a cup of tea
and the cats.
And the cats is not the Taylor you get when you rise up to the stage and see her in her pop star mode,
80,000
superstar mode.
Yeah,
which I thought was really cute.
You're totally right.
Okay, so Travis is having not a great week.
No, not a great week.
Yeah,
it is now official that the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to the playoffs. Thank God she's not doing the Super Bowl. Like, I'm so glad that decision was made when it was. Amen and hallelujah. She's not doing that because that would be terrible. Mm-hmm. But the big question now is he done? Mm-hmm. Is he done? So their season ends officially on the 4th of January this season.
Right.
Does he go back? We don't know. His brother Jason has weighed in.
Yeah.
Because he had a moment of retirement or thinking about retirement and went back. Mm-hmm. And when he went back, it was not a good season.
Didn't go well.
It did not go well.
Yeah.
And he said, in my opinion, to nail that decision, you got to step away for a minute and take a break. You cannot make that decision now when you know
when it's emotional,
and when you know the end is near.
Yeah.
Finish out the season in January, let it sit for a minute, take your time, and then make your decision. And I think that's really good advice. Don't do it in a moment of desperation and ego and I need to prove something, because nothing ends well when you do that.
Absolutely not.
Do you think he's going to do it? What do you think is going to happen? I know.
I think he is.
Going to retire or going to go back?
Going to go back.
I think so too.
Because I know these men and their fucking egos. Do I think that's the right thing? No, because I think now you're chasing something that energy doesn't usually yield good results. Remember, he was going to maybe retire last year. If they had won the Super Bowl last year,
he'd have been done.
I agree. Now he's chasing the win and had the worst season that they've had since 2014.
Yeah.
I think there were so many missteps, and we've talked about it along the way. Like, they should never have gotten engaged before this season. If this was your one season to get it done and to focus on the game and to really like give it your all, I was shocked by their engagement, not because I didn't think they were going to get married someday, but because
of the season. Because
that's not a great move when you've declared that this is your last season and you need to win the Super Bowl. Instead, he proposes right before the season starts, and it's impossible to deny that he's distracted. He's not playing his best game. And honestly, like, not for nothing, but this man is 36.
Yeah.
That's, in baseball world or in football world, in athlete world, that's old. So you're already playing uphill against, the clock.
Yeah.
And, we say it about women all the time, so we're going to say it about the men.
Yeah.
Your time is running out here.
Yeah.
Your biological clock, so to speak, as an athlete. So, I don't think he did himself any favors. And I think chasing that win is going to not yield great results.
No, I don't think he'll be satisfied. I think he's got the rings. You've done the thing. Do you need to end your career on the highest note of a Super Bowl win? Not necessarily. You've got the accomplishments behind you. The last season doesn't have to be your best season. Would you like it to be? Yes.
Of course.
I don't know that he was distracted this year necessarily by the relationship and the engagement. It's possible. I wonder if he just put so much pressure on this season and every loss just got bigger, and then the reality of not getting where he wanted to be got bigger, and maybe that became the all-consuming part of it, and he couldn't ignore that noise. But to your point, he's 36. It's been 14 years. It's hard on the body, really hard on the body.
Yeah.
It gets more risky and dangerous as years go on. His teammate just suffered a massive injury, Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know. My feeling is he is going to go back.
Yeah.
But like you said.
Which is fine. But then to what end, right?
Yeah.
Because then, what happens if you don't win again? And it's possible. And especially if his teammate is down and out, and they're the power duo, and, they both are seeing the other side of their best days. When does it end? When do you put that period on the end of the sentence? And one season doesn't also, define a career.
Yeah, you're right.
And my biggest question in all of this is who is Travis when he's not winning? As a person, as a partner. I'm not saying anything bad.
His life has been a series of big wins,
luck, championships.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't win the Super Bowl last year, he was still in the Super Bowl, and they were very close, and he won the pop star and all the things,
and the big podcast, and
all of that.
You're right. And Taylor has described him as a human exclamation point.
Correct.
It's kind of easy to be a human exclamation point
when things are going your way, always.
Interesting take.
And as someone, and I know you can relate, who has been through the depths of the bottom with my partner, both because of my circumstances and his circumstances, we've been through it all, winning, losing,
oh my gosh,
all and everything in between.
Yeah.
You really see a different side of someone. And I think those are the moments that really solidify that you're with your person.
Yeah.
when you go through those huge losses and you see who they are when they're winning and you see who they are when they're losing. And I don't know. I guess that's why I always discourage people from getting engaged and getting married so quickly, because yes, of course, like you can love someone and be in love with them, but to know them in those moments when the guards are down, when luck is gone, when things are not going great,
that's the test.
In sickness and in health till death do us part. Those are the tests. And I'm not sure that they've experienced that yet.
Not yet. I still think they're rock solid, but they've not experienced that yet.
I think they are, but I think you can't know for sure.
Until you've experienced until life it. Serves you until up some life.
Life is life.
Life
is lifing.
Life does life. It would almost be easier in this case to be fired than make this decision.
It's an impossible decision to make.
It is an impossible decision.
And I feel for him, and I wish him luck in making that choice, and I hope he makes it for the right reasons. And let's not forget, their podcast is like one of the biggest in the world. Yeah. They've had some insane stars like Clooney and Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and all the biggest things. It's not like he's like, what do I do next? Like, he has a massive career waiting for him on the other side. The win is on the other side of this. And I think, honestly, the longer that he prolongs this thing that might, again, not be his best now thing. Yeah. Just let it go.
Let it go.
I think if I were his partner,
that's the advice you would give.
You want to gently kind of encourage him to see all of the amazingness that is on the other side of making this decision. All the white knuckling of holding on so tight and trying so hard for this thing that's not really in flow. Yeah. But there's so much inflow on the other side.
That's right. There's so many green lights happening over here. And here we are to give you career advice.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
There is no easy turn here, obviously.
No.
But we do want to talk about and, honor Rob Reiner and Michelle and his incredible accomplishments and sort of the sentiments of Hollywood on this really horrific loss. So I'm sure you've seen, heard, read that Rob and Michelle were murdered in their home over the weekend by their son, Nick. He's now been charged with the murders. Their daughter, Romy, was the person who discovered her parents in their home, which would be the most horrific thing imaginable. I don't know how a person could possibly...
Devastating. I mean, the loss in itself is devastating. Yeah. The discovery, I think, is a trauma that even the strongest human couldn't come back from.
Exactly. And then I was also thinking about the Romy specifically because we know that Nick struggled with serious addiction and serious mental health issues from a very young age. From 15 on, he'd been in rehab 17 times.
Wow.
The effect that would have on her as a daughter, as a sister growing up, like this has been trauma for her whole life, and probably feeling in a lot of ways protective of her parents and worried about her parents and worried about her brother, but also probably a lot of like resentment feelings towards him as well.
Right.
So this is prolonged trauma with just the most enormous mountain of trauma placed on top of it for her. And I hope she has all of the support in the world to help her through this, because as you said, this is like an unimaginable tragedy to face as a person.
And
just awful.
I don't know. The only sort of like recent stuff I've seen that maybe people aren't aware of is the stuff that happened the day, that this tragedy unfolded, that they were at a party at Conan O'Brien's house.
Yeah, a holiday party
with a bunch of celebrities. And, one of the biggest sentiments that's coming from all these statements that people are making is just how good of a person that Rob was, and how good of a father that he was, and how constantly worried he was about Nick.
Yep.
To the point where he brought him to this holiday party to keep an eye on him.
That part.
Because he was concerned for his well-being.
Yeah.
And
he asked if he could bring him.
Please come.
Come. I want to keep my eye on you. Things haven't felt right for a little while here.
Right. So he did that as a dad,
as a dad, and also, if you've got a child who's acting out and erratic, you could be of the mind to be like, we can't bring him.
Yeah.
He could be embarrassing to us.
Right.
He could be like a liability. But instead was like, son first. I need to bring him and wrap and keep my eye and wrap him up. And I'm with people I love who aren't going to judge.
Yeah.
These are friends at a friend's home at a party, and did that, as you said, out of dad first love. And so much of what we've now learned about their relationship, about the amount of effort, resources, and love they put into Nick's recovery and his care and his mental health.
Yeah.
They made that movie together, Finding Charlie?
Being Charlie?
Feeling Charlie, about the addiction as a way to try to heal and understand. Like this, he put everything possible he could into helping his son. And that's also what we're hearing so much of from, people that have worked with Rob and known him over the years speaking out.
And he kind of was a liability at the party.
Yeah, he was.
He had a massive fight with his parents that night.
He did.
And he also had an altercation with Bill Hader.
Yeah.
And it sounds as though maybe Bill was interrupted or something to that nature, and they had like a couple of words back and forth. I'm sure Bill didn't know what was going on there, but
of course not. Yeah.
I did see photos of him since the parties when he sort of understood what had unfolded, and even his guilt and his feeling of responsibility in the whole thing, which he has no responsibility here. Let's be clear.
But he looks.
But I can't
crushed.
Imagine, how that would feel for him to be like, oh my God, like, did my words have a play in this? Like, it's just awful for everyone.
It is. It really is. And he was reported to have been acting really erratically at that party, as you said, interrupting Bill Hader, the altercation with his parents. There was a loud argument.
Yeah.
Apparently that argument was because his parents were saying, we need you to go back to treatment. Like, you have to go back to treatment. He'd been living in their guest house for a number of years.
Right.
He had destroyed that guest house several times in the throes of his addiction and his mental health issues. And they were saying, no, you got to go back. And that's what apparently was the precipice of this big argument.
Oh my God.
We need you to get more help. Other people who were at the party were saying he was really uneasy and acting really strangely and staring and just like not
in his right mind.
Not at all in his right mind.
I don't know if you know this, but my number one movie of all time, like number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Is When Harry Met Sally.
That tracks.
My mom and I, like, this is our movie together.
Movie.
Yeah. We would watch this like on repeat. The VHS is worn.
Yeah.
I know every single word to this movie. This is my heart and soul.
It's like my Beaches. Beaches is my that.
Okay. Yes. Same. And obviously this is a Rob Reiner film.
Yeah.
It's not just a film that he wrote and directed, but it's also the film where he met his wife.
Yeah.
And fell in love. And I cannot believe that the ending was meant to be different.
I know.
I can't imagine a world where Harry and Sally didn't end up together at that New Year's party. I can't. But apparently it was a different ending where they kind of walk away at the end of the movie, and it's sort of like, let bygones be bygones. And then he fell in love with his wife on set and decided, no, they need to be together.
That's right.
And thus created that incredible monologue and that incredible scene. Like when you realize about the rest of your life, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. I can't, like, that tidbit that's come from watching sort of old interviews with him has really been such a gift. Did you know that he is the one that made sure that Seinfeld became a thing?
No. I didn't know how
either.
I feel about Seinfeld.
I do.
I do know that Larry David was one of the first people at the Reiner
Larry
home.
and
Billy and Crystal were there. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so I didn't know that either. But Jerry also was very close with Rob and released a long statement. And he said that Castle Rock, which was the production company that was co-founded by Rob, funded the show when no one else would back it. He saw the potential in Seinfeld, and he said, I got you. And even when the pilot was very poorly received, he was like, no, we're ordering a season and I'm going to pay for it. And the rest is history.
And that wouldn't happen in today's world. A pilot would not be well received and it would be gone.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have the runway to make this. And the fact that happened at the time when it did is just a testament to what he knows. I saw Stephen King share, and he kind of wrote a piece about Rob Reiner because Rob adapted some of his work.
Oh, wow.
And the gift that was, Stand By Me being one of them. That was a novella by Stephen King that Rob Reiner adapted into
oh my God, I had
what
no
would
idea.
be one of my favorite movies of my childhood. I have an older brother, 2 years older. Stand By Me was worn out VHS styles. My first crush was River Phoenix in that movie.
Of course.
Of childhood, in this case kind of boyhood, but childhood in general, and coming of age and discovery. Like the dad voiceover in that just like stays with you. It's just such a beautiful film, and like something that is very, very special to my family. And there's so much of that work that really touches people, and that's kind of the impact I think people are feeling. Is this wonderful not only artist but person. And when you hear people speak of Rob and Michelle Reiner, it's like philanthropic forward and kindness and generosity of time and efforts and community and like all of that.
Yeah, and people really who stood for something.
Exactly.
Right? Their political beliefs, like whether you agree or not, like they really cared about humanity and they really cared for their country.
Yes.
And I think the takeaway beyond just the legacy that he left with his work, which is immense. I mean, Princess Bride, there's too many to count. But more so, you're right, is this overarching sentiment that they were just really good people who really loved their kids and just wanted them to be well, and to consider the fact that their last moments on earth
were the way they were
is a tragedy that is too immense to even to
put into words. It really is. Should we move on?
Let's do that.
Again, another term, but we're going to take the show over to 50 Cent.
Yes.
Into the lane of petty. So unsurprisingly, The Reckoning, the Diddy documentary, #1 on Netflix, all over the world. 50 Cent has been telling us that all over his social media. I'm #1 in all these countries. He's declaring he's got the best show, the biggest thing, everything. It's been so great to see him celebrate his big win. I don't want to get into the specifics of the Diddy doc. Do you?
No, I mean, I think, it's there's a couple of things that we didn't know, but not much. What we know is Diddy was a horrible, horrible person who abused
That's where I was going.
many people.
He's a monster. He's a deplorable person. He is responsible for murders.
Yes.
I have to say allegedly. Right. Allegedly. But all the evidence is here to support the fact that this man.
But law enforcement were interviewed saying it's likely.
It's likely him. His co-founder.
Yes.
It's likely him. So
who was also abused physically, sexually, and all the things. It's never ending. Even to the last minute of this documentary, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, he's continuing.
You.
It is,
and all of these women who are terrorized, and men.
Terrorized. This man has left a path of destruction behind him. Destroyed lives.
And the takeaway for me was reminding myself that he really got away with murder and literally, but also like this 50-month sentence with time served. It's a travesty. And also the interview with the juror at the end, who was very clearly biased, starstruck.
Yeah. All of that.
Like it was actually, that was like, to me, the grossest part was learning of the people who were going to seal his fate, which was to get away with all of these things.
Exactly. I couldn't believe it. I thought to myself, why on earth would you do this documentary? That juror specifically. You may need to go into witness protection. I agree, because that was not the move. The big question that I had immediately, and I'm not alone, everybody had the question, and now we're trying to figure out the how and the why of it, was that the documentary opens with footage of P. Diddy on the phone with his lawyers.
Yes.
And you're like,
in the days leading up to his arrest.
Days. And it's like, it is not a conversation that should have been for our ears, I don't think. Nobody looks good in this conversation.
No.
Lawyers, publicists, Diddy, nobody looks good. I'm like, how the hell did this footage,
did they pull this off?
Did this happen? 50 Cent has said he's not going to reveal his source. He said that to everyone. You're a journalist. I'm a journalist in this role. I'm not telling you how it happened, but I will say, I I have the receipts. I own the footage. It's mine and I can prove it.
Right.
But what we're hearing...
It was obtained legally.
But what we're hearing is the fact that Diddy hired a crew because we know Diddy loves to film himself. Yes. Diddy loves a camera. Hired a crew to document himself for his own possible series to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Hired this film crew who, guess what? He didn't pay.
Like what?
He didn't pay them, which is also, if you watch the documentary, is a theme. There were many people.
Everyone.
He did not pay. He left high and dry.
Yeah.
He had a mandate. Don't pay him.
Right.
I'm not paying them. So he didn't pay this doc crew. Mm-hmm. And guess what that doc crew does? They find out that 50 Cent is working on this documentary and they sell the footage to 50 Cent. So if you don't believe in karma, if you're like, no, I'm not sure about that universe karma thing, I'm here to tell you this is karmic.
Yes.
It is beautifully karmic.
Yes.
That footage ended up where it did. And Diddy's tried to throw down a cease and desist and yet this is
kicking up all kinds of dust.
Not happening.
From prison.
No.
No.
Curtis owns that footage.
Yes.
And now we've seen it.
Curtis.
And I love it.
So let's talk a little bit about the backstory. Like, why is 50 Cent committed to the takedown of Diddy?
Yeah, good point.
I don't know if everybody knows that Diddy and 50 have had a long-standing beef, like from the early 2000s.
Yeah, from way back.
And 50, you know, he has spoken out about Diddy for a very long time, even before the arrest, before everything. And he always said, first of all, I never went to any of those parties. It always felt weird to me. He said, I've been very vocal about not going to Puffy's parties and doing shit like that. I've been staying out of that shit for years. It's an uncomfortable energy connected to it. Mm-hmm. And he's always felt that way. And he has been really, really vocal about being suspicious of Diddy's movements over the last few decades.
Absolutely.
And the sentiment in the documentary is everyone is scared of Diddy. And that's why no one spoke up, because they knew that he would either blacklist them or, you know, worse, because we've seen a lot of people disappear and a lot of people
get pneumonia,
unalived. And so everyone was terrified of him. 50, not scared.
No.
Not scared at all. And has really now dedicated his life and career to taking down Diddy. And he doesn't mind that that's sort of what he's known for now.
Not at all.
He doesn't.
No, this started, I mean, it's been decades of him calling him out and having this beef. But then when Cassie came forward and then it was settled.
Yeah.
And then in the days after that, there was all those people who came forward, all those women who came forward about abuse and sexual assault and all of those things. That's when he was like, green light on this. I got to make something for the people to see.
Yeah.
And he did say at the time that any proceeds he was going, 50 cents at any proceeds from this documentary, I'm going to donate to sexual assault victims and rape victims. So if he does that, I hope he keeps his word, because as of right now, apparently this thing has made like $50 million. And I think he's a man of his word.
He is a man of his word.
I think if he said that, I think he'll back it up.
Yeah.
But you're right. He has decided this is what I'm going to do. And I think a lot of it he has said is because about the culture. This is not what our culture is.
Yeah.
And I don't want people believing this is part of the culture. So I'm going to expose this so that it's not associated with the culture.
Because again, some of the sentiments in the documentary, again, were that people didn't want to come forward because they were scared of the repercussions, but also because a lot of these people were trying to protect the culture.
That's right.
They were like, if I expose him, I was talking to James about it last night, and he said it's kind of like the Catholic Church not wanting to expose the priests that were doing bad things because that makes them all look bad.
That's right.
And so it was almost like protecting those secrets, even though they don't agree, because, they don't want to ruin their reputation and the respect that they have in the world. And I think that that's what we saw here. And what Curtis, 50 Cent, has done is to say, like, hell no. I'm not going to protect this man. He doesn't speak for me. He doesn't speak for the culture. He doesn't represent us. So let's call it, let's name it, let's show what he's done, and let's then move forward and celebrate a culture without him in it.
Yeah, where it feels safer.
Yeah,
and we're not dealing with a monster like this. 50's social media has been maybe my favorite thing this month.
I mean, always, but yes,
but especially this month.
Yes.
he gave an interview to Good Morning America, which is an ABC show.
Yes.
And that was by design. That was with intention, because ABC is one of the only networks that people can see in prison.
Right.
So he wanted
Diddy to see that.
He wanted Diddy to wake up in his prison jumpsuit and with his 1 hour of TV time and see 50 Cent with that shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah.
Promoting this documentary. And I was like, man,
the pettiness runs so deep.
It runs so
everything
deep.
is so thoughtful.
It is. It's like, it's the most thoughtful spite and pettiness you could ever imagine. It's so great. There's also been a few other, I mean, the internet has done such wonderful work with this and has really done some really incredible memes. Did you see the one that 50 Cent posted that was the graph? So like the intersection of fuck around and find out. And he's got a marker and it's right in the middle. Like,
oh my God, it's too good.
It's been so good.
It's
really
too
has.
good.
Oh God,
No,
his
he
smile
is.
has been so
He's
fun.
the pettiest man with a grudge. And he doesn't mind that label. He says like, yeah, I'm good with it. It's, if the shoe fits, I will wear it. I think for me, the biggest thing is like, if you want to be this petty, you've got to be really rich.
Yeah, you're right.
He has a vengeance fund that is unlimited, an unlimited fund.
Yes.
And he's been called out now by Ja Rule.
Yeah, I know.
Who he also has a long-standing feud with that runs like all the way into the 90s. Ja Rule is saying now that he's going to create a documentary about 50 Cent's, shortcomings as a person and maybe some of his crimes that he's committed. And 50 he wants none of it. And it's like, if you come for 50, you better be ready.
No kidding.
Because now 50's saying all the things about Ja Rule and Diddy.
Oh, yeah.
All of that. Did you know that during their feud, 50 bought 4 rows, the first 4 rows of Ja Rule's concert in Vegas?
Yeah.
He bought those tickets so that Ja Rule would be performing for an empty front section.
Yes.
Like,
that's
this
what
man,
I mean.
his pettiness knows no bounds.
It doesn't. And what he said was, when he was asked about it, he's laughing about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And he kept saying, well, the tickets were really cheap.
So cheap.
It was so cheap. So like, of course I'm going to do that. And like the shade of calling out the low ticket price on top of buying this bulk of tickets.
All of that.
Hilarious.
Insane.
And he was laughing so hard at his own bit, which I also loved.
Yeah.
And he said, I wanted him to feel like he had to really reach the people, really reach them. Did you also know he once challenged Floyd Mayweather to read a page of a Harry Potter book?
No.
Because he was like, I know that man can't read. I'll pay you $750,000 to the ALS challenge, but instead I want you to read a page of Harry Potter because I know you can't do it.
And he didn't.
You couldn't pronounce those words.
Oh
no.
my God.
And
that's
then
incredible.
also, it's amazing. He's got a long-standing beef with Fat Joe. Have you seen the videos he's made?
Yes.
He made a video faking a medical emergency and trauma, like something horrific had happened to him physically and in his health. And he was like, help me. Oh God, help me. I'm dying. I listened to Fat Joe's album.
I love Fat Joe.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's just like, don't get on the wrong side of 50
do
Cent.
not. And
Don't.
you know what it looks like is he's setting his sights on Jay-Z next.
It does. I saw that.
It does.
It
so
does.
he posted a sort of cartoon,
Really
a
unflattering.
caricature of Jay-Z.
Doesn't look good.
With some kind of random caption, and then someone in his comments said, don't tell me you're coming for him next, and he liked and pinned the comment. So watch out.
I bet he's now got a whole think tank of people figuring out ways to take people down with petty.
Well,
the petty
I hope he
takedown.
has a team, because I'm like, how does he have time? You know what it kind of reminds me of, Danielle? For those who don't know, in our friend group, Danielle is a troll. And in
real life?
in the best way. She's a troll IRL. And her trolling is always means like she loves you the most.
Yes.
That is her love language. And she will take photos and Photoshop them into weird memes and send it to the group chat.
I will.
And I picture 50 doing the same thing. He's like sitting at home on Photoshop. He's taking pictures. He's, going over to Canva. He's cropping faces into these memes, and I think it's really funny to think of him sitting there and doing that, also while running a business, also while being a producer, also while doing all these things.
I troll my husband hard, as you know.
Hard.
And it is one of the greatest joys of my life. Yes. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, so let, 50 Cent be your North Star.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not as petty, but I am definitely, I love a good troll.
You love a good troll.
I really, really do. My hope from the other side of this documentary is that it exposes more terrible people, more of Diddy's history, opens up some of those cold cases, or starts, get people looking into them a little bit deeper, because let's be real, the man had a hand in people dying. I hope that comes out of it. And also remember, there's still 70 civil lawsuits against him.
Right.
So this is long from over. He could end up broke at the end of this thing too.
Well, let's hope.
I agree. Let's hope. And I hope he never has a moment of peace again in his life. Ever. That is my wish.
Amen.
For this.
And hallelujah.
Now we just need a palate cleanser.
Yeah. Palate cleanser.
We have to talk about
Jason Bateman,
who's apparently hot now.
He's hot, but according to our audience, he's always been hot, and we just didn't notice.
Yeah. Okay, so you didn't notice either. Tell me how.
I didn't.
What your perception of him was.
Okay, but I've always loved Jason Bateman. I love him. I love his humor.
Sure.
I just recently watched Black Rabbit, and I just remember like every episode being like, I just love him. He's such a good first of all, he's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
I think highly underrated, a great actor, and I just like him.
Yeah,
I always like him, even though that character in that show was the most unlikable person. I just love Jason Bateman. So, but then when the Esquire cover shoot came out,
what?
I was like, excuse me, sir?
Yeah, where have you been hiding?
Have you been gorgeous this whole time and we've just been blind to it?
Well, it's like it was the flow, the hair,
the body,
the draping, the brooding, like all of it.
No, he felt himself on that shoot.
I just never saw him in any other way of like, oh, that'd be like my friend's husband.
Right.
Or like the cutie next door guy that you'd wave to walking the dogs.
Right.
Like that's how he always felt to me. He never felt like hot. He was never like Tom Hardy.
Right. No.
He was never, this was giving Brad Pitt.
Yeah. You're right.
Hot.
You're right. Hot.
It was really, really hot.
It's giving and coupled sex with symbol.
Yeah. But coupled with being hilarious.
Yes.
Is
the ultimate duo combo.
Yeah. And then he added a little bit more icing on this already hot, funny cake by saying, I like my candles. I like my towels and sheets. I like my socks. I love a fireplace. I love nesting. I love being with my family. Okay, so now you're perfect. I love all of those things.
Yep.
And I think I fell in love with Jason Bateman a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. He said all the things. He's so also outspoken about like loving his family and feeling like indebted to his wife all the time about how incredible she is and all that she does, and that's our love language.
It is.
No, I loved the interview, and it also I just went a little bit deeper into the Jason Bateman of it all. Like we know that he was a child star. He was in Little House on the Prairie when he was 11. He worked steadily through his sort of teens, and then in his 20s he had a major drop off of work. He was actually like a drug addict, hard partying stage, as a lot of those child stars do.
Yeah.
And he managed to pull himself out of that in his late 20s, just in time to marry his wife, and also just in time for Arrested Development,
right?
Which was the project that really put him back on the map as a serious adult actor. And the rest is history. He's worked like, I think maybe we don't realize, because he's one of those guys that's kind of like, he isn't the leading man all the time. Sometimes he's the dopey bestie to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he's your supporting actor role.
Supporting actor. He's in an ensemble cast with the Horrible Bosses or whatever it is. But he's been working.
Yeah, he has.
And then Ozark happened, and I think that really put him on a new platform. And now I really feel like he's this undeniable superstar.
He really is.
Yeah.
And he's also got, those undeniable superstar besties as well. He's in Jennifer Aniston's inner circle.
Yeah.
So that also tells me he's got to be pretty cool.
Totally.
If you can hang with an Adam Sandler and a Jennifer Aniston and you're part of those Sunday dinners, you're a really cool guy too.
And
he sounds like a really cool dad.
He does. And I think let's not forget that his podcast, really like walked so we can run.
You're totally right.
And so Travis could run with his podcast. Like the Smartless podcast with Jason and Will Arnett and Sean Hayes, which was created in boredom during the pandemic when no films were shooting. And so they were like, I don't know,
let's do this.
They used to play poker all the time together and they missed each other. So let's do this random podcast. Now they're getting $100 million for 3 years. They have $100 million deal. They've made about $200 million over the course of the last 6 years. That also, I think, for those who didn't really know of Jason Bateman or know of these fun guys, I think that also elevated his star power.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that I did listen to that podcast a lot during COVID, and they are funny and they are fun. And I love their friendship, and I love, what it's done for us in this amazing world of podcast media.
It really has. That was kind of a gateway podcast for a lot of people. I think.
A lot of people.
Yeah, Smartless was the show that people were like, oh, I should probably listen to that if you've never dove into the world.
Yeah.
And now you're right. They've opened up the world to so many. And I love to see Jason Bateman winning.
Yes.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's funny, kind, rooted, grounded, all of those things, and now is having major wins.
Agreed.
And I love to see it.
Yes, same. More sexy photo shoots, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are here for it. I wonder if we'll be seeing him maybe if we noticed it, I'm sure many people did. And I wonder if that might open up the door for him to be
new roles,
in different roles, in romantic leads. If George Clooney doesn't want him, Jason Bateman's around the corner, and I'm here for it.
I love how you just closed that loop so perfectly.
I mean...
And now we got to wrap up the show because we can't say anything else. That was so perfect.
That's it.
That was it. Well, this was fun as always.
So fun.
Thanks for being here.
Yes.
We love you. Thanks for listening, subscribing, sharing, following along, commenting, joining us on social media.
That next week, we have a very special Christmas gift for our audience.
We sure do.
We have, over the last few days, been interviewing some of the biggest Hey You stars.
Yeah.
And next week, we will release them all in one special podcast package.
Yeah. Do we want to tell them who we're talking to, or do you want to just...
Let's leave it.
Let's leave it. Okay.
Let's leave it.
A holiday episode.
You will not be disappointed, I promise. And we hope you enjoy. And good luck with the holidays.
That's right. Happy holidays. We love you.
We love you. Bye.